Welcome to Spelling Bee Ninja, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of knowledge. If you're a curious learner seeking free educational content, you've found the right place. We're here to explore science, history, literature, and more, guiding you on your journey of discovery. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on the insights that expand your mind and fuel your passions. Today we're going deep into the incredible life and groundbreaking discoveries of Louis Pasteur, a remarkable figure in the world of medicine. Let's uncover how his work laid the foundation for modern microbiology and transformed healthcare as we know it. Louis Pasteur, born in the year 1822 in Dole, France, hailed from humble beginnings. His father was a tanner, and Pasteur grew up in a small town called Arbois. Even as a child, he displayed an extraordinary curiosity. Although his early academic performance was average, he preferred activities like fishing and drawing to studying. His tenacity and passion for science eventually led him to pursue a degree in arts, before branching into the sciences. This journey took him to the University of Strasbourg, where he became a professor of chemistry. Pasteur's story exemplifies how determination and a thirst for knowledge can overcome a modest start. Now, let's explore how he challenged the beliefs of his time. In the realms of science, there were dominant theories that often went unchallenged. Before Pasteur, many scientists adhered to spontaneous generation, a theory proposing that life could arise from non-living matter. For instance, they falsely believed that maggots appeared spontaneously from rotting meat. Pasteur, however, set out to debunk this notion through careful experimentation. One of his most famous experiments involved the use of swan neck flasks. By boiling broth in these flasks, which allowed air in while trapping dust and microorganisms, he demonstrated that the broth remained sterile until he tilted the flask to let contaminants enter. This simple yet profound experiment provided compelling evidence for the germ theory, which posits that microorganisms are responsible for many diseases. This discovery not only changed medicine but also paved the way for sterilization techniques related to health and food safety. As we move forward, you might have noticed the term pasteurization when purchasing milk. This term, derived from Louis Pasteur's name, refers to a process of heating liquids to eliminate harmful bacteria. Pasteur initially tackled the problems of wine and beer spoilage. He discovered that by heating these beverages to temperatures between 55 and 60 degrees Celsius, he could kill bacteria without compromising the flavor. Interestingly, the first instance of milk pasteurization in the United States came nearly 30 years after his work with wine. Today, pasteurization is a standard food safety practice that has prevented countless diseases, including those like tuberculosis and brucellosis. It represents one of Pasteur's most impactful contributions to public health. Now let's delve into one of his monumental contributions to the development of vaccines. Pasteur observed that chickens injected with old and weakened cultures of cholera bacteria developed immunity to the disease. He theorized that by exposing individuals to a weakened form of a pathogen, the immune system could be prompted to generate antibodies, creating immunity without the individual suffering from the full-blown disease. His groundbreaking work culminated in an astonishing event in 1885, when he treated a young boy named Joseph Meister, who had been bitten by a rabid dog. At the time, rabies was a death sentence. Pasteur injected Meister with a series of weakened rabies viruses he cultivated in his lab. This marked the first successful human vaccination against rabies, a significant milestone in the history of medicine. Fun fact: the term vaccine stems from the Latin word vacca, meaning cow, which refers to Edward Jenner's use of cowpox material for smallpox vaccination. Pasteur took this concept further by developing a rabies vaccine entirely in the laboratory. What set Louis Pasteur apart was his adherence to the scientific method. He meticulously observed the natural world, controlled his experiments, and applied rigorous logic. His methodical approach began with hypothesis formation followed by thoughtful experimental design and careful recording of results. Interestingly, he was known to spend long hours in his laboratory, often neglecting his own needs such as food and sleep. Even after suffering a stroke at the age of 45, he persisted in his research, aided by his family and team. Pasteur's method was put to the test when he was faced with the crisis in the French silk industry during the 1860s. Silkworms were mysteriously dying, threatening the entire industry. Pasteur, who had no experience with silkworms, employed his scientific approach to investigate. He discovered that a microscopic parasite was the culprit. By examining silkworm eggs under a microscope and discarding the infected ones, he developed a simple yet effective preventative method that revitalized the French silk industry. This also demonstrated that diseases could be caused by microorganisms in animals, greatly expanding the germ theory's implications. The controversy surrounding Pasteur's germ theory was intense and faced significant skepticism. At the time, many scientists staunchly believed in spontaneous generation. In 1864, a pivotal debate was held by the French Academy of Sciences. Pasteur presented his swan neck flask experiment to showcase the validity of his findings against his critics. His elegant experiments managed to sway many skeptics, but some remained unconvinced even after his work was published. It would take decades for the germ theory to gain widespread acceptance, underscoring the importance of evidence-based thinking in science. Another pivotal discovery by Pasteur involved anaerobic bacteria, living organisms that thrive without oxygen. During his studies on fermentation, he found that some bacteria flourish in the absence of air, while others require it. This discovery shed light on the adaptability of life within the microbial realm and had practical implications for understanding infections in human and animal bodies. His observations about fermentation as life without air added to our understanding of microbial diversity and paved the way for better treatments for infections resulting from such organisms. Now let's examine how Pasteur's germ theory revolutionized surgical practices. Before his discoveries, many patients succumbed to infections as surgeries were conducted in unhygienic conditions. Surgeons operated without a grasp of how bacteria could cause deadly infections like gangrene and sepsis. Pasteur's findings inspired Joseph Lister, a British surgeon, to innovate antiseptic techniques in surgery. Lister introduced methods involving carbolic acid to cleanse surgical instruments and wounds. Remarkably, this led to dramatically decreased surgical mortality rates, showcasing the profound impact of Pasteur's work. Although Lister's ideas initially faced resistance, the clear success of his methods eventually led to their adoption worldwide, laying the groundwork for modern surgical practices. Louis Pasteur's contributions have left an indelible mark on medicine, public health, and various industries, saving millions of lives. In 1887, the Institut Pasteur was founded, and it remains a leading biomedical research center. Fun fact: because his research was funded by a blend of public and private sectors, Pasteur made science accessible to everyone. He believed knowledge should enlighten humans and held strong humanitarian beliefs. His point of view is encapsulated beautifully by his motto, "Science knows no country, because knowledge belongs to humanity, and is the torch which illuminates the world." Today, his discoveries in germ theory, pasteurization, and vaccine development continue to resonate through the ages, forming the backbone of modern microbiology and immunology. Today, we delved into the pioneering work of Louis Pasteur, exploring his early life, his groundbreaking experiments, and the profound impact of his theories on modern medicine. His determination to challenge existing beliefs led to the germ theory of disease, changed the landscape of surgical practices, and enhanced public health through methods like pasteurization. We also witnessed his remarkable journey through adversity, emphasizing how inquiry and scientific rigor can lead to monumental discoveries. From saving the French silk industry to developing the rabies vaccine, Pasteur's legacy is not only scientific but humanitarian. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey through the life and legacy of Louis Pasteur. We hope you found inspiration in his story and the discoveries that shaped our understanding of illness and health. Remember to subscribe to Spelling Bee Ninja for more fascinating insights into the world of science and beyond. Together, let's continue our exploration of knowledge, and until next time, stay curious and keep learning.